want to piggyback to your mom. Your mom has always been someone that has helped you, have motivated you, always been in your corner, and always try to lead you the right way. And for your mom to say she don't like the school systems in Louisiana, that she didn't want you to go to LSU, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like that shows a thing of character of like, nah, like you're a great athlete, but this education is gonna push you forward. Like, and a lot of
Hmm.
times, especially in our culture with black culture, I was just in Lake Charles, they're still pushing the athletic thing, but they're not really talking
Hmm.
about the education. And now with social media and stuff, you kind of don't really need you need some type of form of education, but you can really just get off by making money on social media. But people don't really understand that sometimes whenever you're going to a college or you're pursuing a better education, it's the people that you're around that help you further. Like,
Hmm.
you going to college can help you meet somebody that can change your life. And then that person could, you know what I'm saying? And it becomes a trickle down effect. But I think, like, still in the black communities, we struggle with this all the time. Is these people are seeing these $250 million deals? They seeing, all these NBA players, all these
Hmm.
people signing for money, and they're looking at the money, so they're throwing their kids in training, they're doing this, but they're not really focused on this educational type thing. And I don't mean educational in school; I mean educational life. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And I think it's like it's becoming a trickle down effect. Like I just read something the other day with an Alabama player killing a girl because she didn't give him a
Yeah.
phone number. You know what I'm saying? And that's education, because that's stuff that you have to learn. That is beyond sports. He was a Division 1 athlete at a Power
Hmm.
Five. So you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like a lot of the times those lessons get misconfused. But for your mom to say that, and then also it's funny because when you went to LSU, the coach got fired. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, like you sitting there as a man, like, dang, like, damn, my mama told me about this. And then also with the uh long story short, the coach, the guy that they idolized at TCU, that's the guy that ended up being your coach at LSU. So it ran around full circle. But even
Hmm.
with going through all that, for your mom to sit there and be like, baby, look, education wise, you know what I'm saying? But then the side note is, oh, okay, I'm a man. I made this decision. Now I gotta live in this, mom. And I messed it up. But a lot of people think once you're a Division 1 athlete, everything is cool. Please explain to them what happened for you for your scholarship, how they lowballed you, they didn't even give you a full, and the stuff that you had to go through, because people don't really understand that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think nowadays there might be a little more assistance when it comes to the recruiting process and really understanding like what goes into that and what to look out for.
Hmm.
And I was the number two 800 runner time wise in the country and
Hmm.
going into my senior year. So I was pretty heavily recruited,
Right.
and I'm talking like Ivy League schools. Like we still got all the letters, like handwritten letters, Columbia, Harvard, all these places reaching out to me. I personally didn't want to go to a school in which I knew I was getting accepted because of my athletic performance, because
Right.
I knew socially I wouldn't really vibe with that crowd if I wasn't on their intellectual level.
Right.
And at that time, I wasn't. And so I wanted to go somewhere where I was going to be celebrated and not questioned. And so TCU was a great place for me. I really enjoyed the visits there. But again, that's kind of what happened with that. LSU, however, was a different environment. LSU wasn't what I thought it was going to be. When I got there, I realized it what the SEC is. It's
Right.
cutthroat,
Okay.
right? It's cutthroat, meaning this is a business. This isn't a family. We're
Mm-hmm.
here for a purpose, right? And so because of that, you can be gone next year. Your scholarship is a year to year basis, right?
Mm.
And so when I got recruited, they told me they were going to give me a full scholarship. Everybody was. Now the issue was in the state of Louisiana, if you graduate with, I believe, a 2.5 GPA, because the education system is so poor, you are entitled to free tuition to any in-state institution. A 2.5 GPA, I believe that's the bare minimum of graduation in the state of Texas. Now, with that being said, I graduated with a 3.8,
Mm.
but I didn't do well in testing, meaning like the ACT or SAT.
Mm.
So LSU knew I was going to have a full scholarship academic wise because of the scholar for the in-state scholarship.
Right.
they told me they were going to give me a full scholarship because they were going to pay the difference in what was still owed, meaning meals, books, housing, that kind of thing. Well, that's not a full. That's a full on contention of everything else that I have going on. And so I ended up, like I said, I committed to them and everything. And then at the moment of receiving my national letter of intent, the NLI, on signing day, and I saw what was actually going on, I sent it back. I said, I'm not signing this. This is not what you told me that you were going to give me. And I immediately called TCU. And TCU was like, hey, we sent your paper to somebody else already. If they don't sign, you can come here. But we only had one scholarship and we already giving it away. But I told LSU, I got another offer for full. So unless you guys are going to own up to what it is that you said, I'm not going there. So they said, if you have another offer, then go there. So I said, all right. The signing day passed. I didn't sign anywhere. The next day they faxed the NLI to the school with all of the changes that were necessary for me to get the amount of money that I was told I was going to receive. And so I ended up signing and getting there. Now, that was still under the contingency of me performing well, because if it's a year-to-year scholarship, if I don't meet the criteria, then I can potentially lose the money. So now the pressure's on. But I'm betting on myself because of my previous successes. Unfortunately, the SEC is the SEC. So my first 2 years were brutal. I probably lost less than 10 races in high school total. And 3 or 4 of them were national meets. So I wasn't losing. I won state by like 100 meters. But that wasn't because I was just so great. It's because Louisiana just wasn't very competitive. But I knew that at that age. So going into college, I was taking L after L after L after L, racing against Olympians, which going into this, I didn't even know Olympians were allowed to run in college. I thought that meant you were pro.
I didn't know that either.
But I'm competing with people who are now all, at this point, after the last Olympics, Olympians and Olympic caliber athletes. And so I was frustrated. Mentally, I struggled because I wasn't used to losing. It was like that Kevin Garnett interview. I'm losing. I don't lose. I don't understand losing. I've been winning. I'm doing everything right. Because remember, if they told me to do A, B, and C, you're going to get this result. I'm doing A, B, and C. But that didn't factor in what everybody else had going on. Talent, all this other stuff. So I had to learn how to lose and it not define who I was. Because up until that point, I identified with what I did. Meaning that if I performed well, I was good. If I don't perform well, I'm not good enough. Right? And so that was a back and forth that I had to learn to mentally not pull myself in a position that I am, self-destructing because of something that I don't have control over. Right? I don't have control over somebody who I'm in a race with an Olympic caliber athlete. And I don't have that talent level. I don't have that skill set, right? I just got to do the best that I can do. And that's something I had to learn because that was new to me. Because for so long I had just been winning. So it was a challenge for me, for sure. Yeah. And then when I had the money removed going into my sophomore year based off of my freshman year, that's when it really hit the fan, because I had the money removed and I still wasn't performing at the level that they wanted me to perform at. So mentally, it was very challenging, very challenging. But with my coach and just being consistent and them seeing the work being put in practice, confirmed that it's just a matter of I need to learn how to compete in this environment. If I'm not used to somebody running next to me because I win every race by 100 meters, somebody next to me, I'm thinking they shouldn't be here. So I'm running faster and faster and faster when the person is running next to me in a mile race. And I'm doing something beside myself because I'm thinking you shouldn't be this close to me because I haven't registered that this is the SEC. So yeah, that's how that went.